So today is going to be the earth signs. Earth signs being Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Capricorn. Hi, Maria. Thank you for coming. It's really good to see you. So, let me. The Bible verse that I chose from Ezekiel 14:21. Yet behold, therein shall be left a remnant that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters. Behold, they shall come forth unto you, and ye shall see their way and their doings, and ye shall be comforted concerning the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem, even concerning all that I have brought upon it. For thus saith the Lord God, how much more when I send my 4 sore judgments upon Jerusalem, the sword, and the famine, and the noisome beast, and the pestilence, to cut it off from man and beast. That's the one I intended to read. And then to clear the space today, I have this longer piece of selenite, and then I have this little stubby piece of selenite. Just use that to dab you like this. Dab, 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 dab. All right. So now let's start on the earth sign of Taurus. Could be any number of Taurus placements in your chart. We have a jumper. If you would, Taurus, go ahead and set your intention for the reading and allow any thoughts or ideas associated with that to come to the forefront of your mind. And as you are thinking about these things, if it's causing you stress or it's kind of causing you any kind of discomfort, or you're dealing with issues of anxiety or anything like that, I invite you to gently breathe through that energy. As you inhale, allow source energy to wash over you and travel through every little nook and cranny of your electron transport chain. And then as you exhale, just release that right back out into the universe, and it will be transmuted. Okay. So the timestamp for this reading, and then we can get started. Here in the past, we have the King of Pentacles. This card is showing up in the reverse. Now, the King of Pentacles in the reverse in the past can be about a situation where you had a lot of stability in your life, potentially, and that might not be continuing into the current situation. King of Pentacles is one of the ways in which, Taurus, you can show up in your own reading. Additionally, there can be ways of the past in which you are stuck that need to be released before you move into the current energy. So here in the current situation, we have the Scream card. This card is showing up in the upright. Quiet your voice to hear. So, Taurus, there might be situations in the current environment. Hi, Alba. Thank you for coming. It's really good to see you. Where it would benefit you to listen very carefully before you speak. I know a lot of us, I think, are focused on not necessarily the response, but the listening part of conversations. And it's just a gentle reminder to me also that sometimes it's more important to listen. The crossing card for that is the Star. This is a really wonderful energy for you to be moving into. So the Star card would be fellow fixed sign Aquarius's energy. And here, this looks very much like lava, almost more than water. The Star card is a very dynamic energy, has a lot to do with social groups, kind of the being able to pour out one's emotional energies into a myriad of different situations. And that is what causes the hopes and dreams to manifest. Here, down in the Imam Silai, we have the High Priestess reversed. This High Priestess energy is lunar. There's cyclical aspects to it. It can be about secrets coming out, and there could be a cycle that's closing out along with these secrets coming out. Here in your perspective, we have the Page of Wands. Now, the Page of Wands reversed can be an energy that's very enthusiastic, but there's not a lot of follow through. It's kind of immature, kind of focused on, can be focused on carnal pleasures. So, Taurus, there might be aspects of that at this time that are kind of, you might not feel like you're bringing your very best energy to the current situation. Typically, the Court card that would show up here would represent you, but this could also represent the person that you're dealing with. that you feel like that person talks a big game, but might be a little immature and might not have the follow through. So, from an outside person's perspective, looking in on your situation, we have the Five of Swords. This card is reversed. So, people might perceive about you at this time that you are not involved in conflict, that you're not taking up a sword and rallying against them in some way, depending on who you might have been surrounded by in this previous situation. And, so it's not that you're not taking situations seriously per se. I think more so at this time, Taurus, you might be feeling like you're not taking things terribly seriously, but actually that'll be more beneficial to you in this situation, especially as all of these things start coming to light, because you can't know everything all at once. And it's important not to rush into situations feeling like you know everything or that you need to be right all the time. And so taking things a lot less seriously, of course, is a good way of harboring that energy. Here in the future, we have the Two of Wands. Now, this card is showing up in the reverse in the future, which, as you know, always makes me a little bit irritated because it's saying the future potentially could be full of planning, right? There could be not a lot of good ways to plan for the future right now. And so let's look some more at that. Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is an energy of, it's air, fire crossed by air. There's this rushing in and kind of being hasty and not using one's proper discernment before committing to that chase. This is in opposition to this Page of Wands in the reverse too, right? So this is an earth of fire energy. This is fire of air. You're afraid that there are going to be aspects of this in which you are potentially too hasty or not bringing the right energy of maturity, because pages and knights can both be a little bit immature. But I don't necessarily see that being the case. So here in the midheaven, the Imam Seelai, of course, we have this High Priestess card, the secrets coming out. Here in the midheaven, we have the Magician coming out in the reverse. Now, the Magician is somebody, potentially, who is able to create their own atmosphere, their own success, their own manifestations coming to light. And while we have all of the suits and the four cardinal energies depicted here, the one that's really emphasized with the Magician is the wands, and that is the tool that the Magician is wielding on the card, even though there's a wand here on the table. Now, the Magician is also associated with the planet Mercury. And so that Mercury can often be used to do the alchemy behind that magic. Here in the final outcome Drum roll, please. We have the Two of Cups. Now, this is wonderful. It is a card of long-term relationships, of exchange, of heartfelt energies. And this is across from the Five of Swords. Now, the Five of Swords, in the reverse like this, laying down one's weapons and walking away, not needing to be right, releasing the need to be correct in everything. So, that which I can see, Taurus, you are working on right now. And people say that sometimes Tauruses are stubborn. I don't know if that's the case. I know Tauruses that I get along great with. I guess it depends what else is in your chart. So that final outcome, there's a close bond coming in for you. This could be a romantic relationship. It could be a new friendship, a new partnership of some kind as well. It doesn't just have to be romantic. It can be many different things all at once. So that is going to conclude the Taurus reading for this week. And I am going to move on now to the sign of Virgo. Now, I will be going over to the members side of the channel after the reading to do the crystal scrying. You are cordially invited, but of course your presence here on the channel is greatly appreciated in whatever form it takes. Hi, Virginia. Thank you for coming. All right, so Virgo, sun, moon, rising. Maybe you have a stellium. Maybe you just like the way the word sounds and it resonates with you. Hi, Saba. It's good to see you. All right, Virgo. I'm going to shuffle your cards. Go ahead and set your intention for the reading. And allow any thoughts or ideas that you would like to know about along with that intention. Just allow those things to rise up to the forefront of your mind and wait there patiently while I shuffle the cards. Now, if any of this is causing you stress or discomfort, I invite you to gently breathe through that energy. As you inhale, draw in the divine white light of Source. And then as you exhale, just release with your breath any of those things that you no longer want to be carrying around. Just let them be released right back into the universe. And they will be transmuted. Okay. Let me write down your time step. So here in the past, Virgo, we have your fellow Earth sign Taurus's card, which is the Hierophant. The Hierophant being someone who could be a religious leader or a spiritual guide to others, acting as an intermediary between the world above and the world below. In a different way than the High Priestess, who is a much more solitary figure, the Hierophant is often surrounded by people. So the Hierophant can also represent institutions like marriage. The Hierophant could even have something to do with the DMV, depending. All of these things that we agree to abide by so that we can all live here together in harmony. Here in the current situation, the place of the significator. This is going to represent you in the reading, Virgo, the Queen of Pentacles. Fertile proliferation of resources coming forth. We have this little rabbit down here. She's holding this pentacle in her lap. It's this water of earth energy, watering the fields so the plants can grow. The crossing card here is the Seven of Cups. All of these possibilities are open to you at this time, Virgo. If you have a garden with a bunch of little containers in it, you've got your tomatoes, you've got your green beans, you've got your parsley, you've got your celery, just depending on where you live, what you're able to grow. You've got all these different things kind of being cultivated in your garden right now, springing up around you. And that is occurring in this environment, very much trying to follow the rules, very much trying to see what is the right thing to do, where is the right place to go. And down in the Imam Silai, we have the Justice card in the reverse. Now, Justice, reversed like this, this is Libra energy. So your neighboring energy, some of you could have cusp stuff going on. Cusp stuff. But the Justice card reversed like this, justice is not yet being served. Doesn't mean that justice will not be served. But in the current situation, that is not going to come together in favor of what's right. But I do see that there's a lot of proliferation around you. So it's not like you are struggling through this injustice. There are resources around you. There's a lot of new opportunities springing up. And mostly, I think that you're trying to navigate this situation within this framework of trying to do what's right. Hear from your perspective, Virgo. We do have the Page of Pentacles, a new job opportunity coming in for you at this time. And this card is Earth of Earth energy, manifesting material resources. That could be you also at this time, Virgo. We've got that Queen of Pentacles. We've got the Page of Pentacles also coming out for you. From an outside person's perspective, looking in, we have Venus in the reverse. And this is one of the secret arcana. So let me, descending, decay, ugliness, or things being hidden. So others could perceive about you at this time that there's a certain amount of decay surrounding you, that you are around things that are kind of ugly. Doesn't mean that you're ugly, Virgo. That is not what I mean. And it can have to do with this injustice that is going on in the current situation, that people are starting to perceive that situation in a less favorable light that will end up translating to more success for you in the future. From the future, we do have the Temperance card upright. This is Sagittarius energy. And Temperance is, there's a patience to it, but there's also a mastery. There's a training going on, such that we do have the pouring back and forth between these cups. It takes a lot of practice to get that shift between the two vessels just right without spilling a drop. Here in the hopes and fears, we have the Nine of Cups in the reverse. You are afraid that your wishes, Virgo, will not be fulfilled. This is related to this new opportunity to manifest resources for yourself. So you're going to have to let go of some of those old ideas that you've had because, like I said, your garden is very fertile at this time. Here in the midheaven, we have the Four of Swords, and this card is about rest. It is about taking a break and taking time to rejuvenate yourself. That's going to be the result of this injustice. Just that you're going to be resting and recuperating and possibly biding your time. So we do have a little bit here, Virgo, about patience with the Temperance card and the Four of Swords. But there's also the opportunity for you to hone and tune in on your craft in a way that you might not have had that opportunity otherwise. Here in the final outcome, we have the Nine of Wands. Now, this Nine of Wands is about having your guard up, and it is in opposition to this ugliness that we see down in the outside world, the outside perspective. It's important to know what to have your guard up about, because sometimes something is really not a threat. And if you're in the wrong mindset and you perceive things to be threats that are not threats, then you're going to end up alienating people that could very well have been helpful to you. So just keep that in mind moving forward. And I think that is going to conclude the Virgo reading for this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are going to be moving on next to the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Turquoise, Metaphysical Store, Record Label. Capricorn, if you would like to go ahead, set your intention and just allow any associated thoughts or ideas that you have about that to rise up to the forefront of your mind and wait there patiently. And I'm going to shuffle the cards and just if there's anything about this situation that causes you stress or anxiety, I invite you to gently breathe through that energy as you inhale. Draw in the divine light of source. Let it travel all the way through your electron transport chain along with that oxygen molecule. And then at the very end, you can release everything with that outgoing breath of carbon dioxide. Okay. Now, let me write down your timestamp. Here in the past, we have the wound. Now, this card is in the reverse. So there was a period of time in your past, Capricorn, where you had to be very brave. You had to do things that you thought you wouldn't do in order to move forward. It's very much about having this gigantic gash in your leg and proceeding through life like nothing's wrong. Unfortunately, Capricorn, that period of your life is past. Let's see what's going on now. We have the Bat card. The Bat is another one of the secret arcana. And let's see. Upright, stop thinking, start knowing. So you will know things. You don't have to think about them. You don't have to worry too much about. Always check your discernment, of course, but you don't have to worry so much about your intuition leading you astray. And this is crossed by the Judgment card from the Major Arcana. So at this time, you are going through a test regarding your intuition and being able to trust yourself. Down here in the Imam Silai, we have the Two of Swords in the upright. This card has to do with a choice that you will have to make. You can choose one or two paths, and you will have to decide. Now, the great thing is that you haven't chosen yet. This card is in the upright. And you can go up either path. And sometimes with the Two of Swords, you can go up the path a little bit of the way and see if it's something you like and kind of double back and go up the other way a little bit. Now, none of us have infinite time here. So always keep that in mind also. But sometimes you can play around with your choices a little bit, even if you only have to, even if it's a clear split. From your perspective, we do have the Two of Pentacles in the upright. Now, this is all about balance. It can be about a business partnership as well, that you will be coming into some thoughts and ideas that will benefit you in the future. From an outside person's perspective looking in, there is an end to uh, lack mentality. There will be an ending for you to this poverty mindset, that you'll be able to move forward and be successful monetarily and materially speaking. Here in the future, we have the Five of Wands. Now, the Five of Wands is a card about competition. It's a card about creative flow and discourse, that all of these people are pretty evenly matched to each other. So no one person necessarily is ready to rise above the group overall. And there might be a time moving forward for you where you are able to have this kind of discourse, this kind of, there's a competitive flow about it. And you sort of fall into that. From the hopes and fears, we have the King of Swords in the reverse. So again, we're talking about discernment and feeling like you are not going to have proper discernment in this situation. Now, we do have that in opposition to the Two of Pentacles. Excuse me, talking about business partnerships and things like that. But then, of course, this King of Swords could also be about contracts and making sure that the contracts you sign are not going to end up stabbing you in the behind. You know? You have to make sure you read everything super carefully. So I think that's the caution here with the hopes and fears for you, Capricorn. Here in the midheaven, so that's going to be the result of this choice. We do have the Spider, and the Spider is seduction. Seduction. So the result of your choice is going to be seduction. But seduction can be all kinds of things. You could be seduced by a place. You could be seduced by a person, obviously. But you could even be seduced by an idea, by a nice watch. I don't even know how many people wear like analog watches anymore. You gotta be pretty fancy to wear something on your arm that only does one thing. Two things. If you also consider looking pretty. And the final outcome card for you, Capricorn. So we're leaving this poverty mentality behind. But what you're being urged to do now is not necessarily to work in groups. This might mean working by oneself. It might mean leaving behind the places where you have built up a professional reputation also. Those places might not be profitable for you, Capricorn. But you are also being urged, I think, to not focus as much on working with other people. Now, I don't see a lot about working necessarily solo. But remember, in the future, we had this Five of Wands where everybody's not necessarily working together. They're kind of working, there's pushback in those relationships. There's a lot of dynamic there. And so the overall effect, if you are working in conjunction with somebody, there's the possibility that neither one of you are going to reach your full potential because you're not being forced to branch out and be creative in ways that you would be otherwise. There are benefits to collaboration, of course. But here, what you are being urged to do, I think, is to focus on your more contentious interactions rather than focusing on the places where your business dealings are harmonious. It's a challenge for you, Capricorn, but if anybody can do it, I know it's you. Just to tie that up, I just noticed this and I'm going to say it. I don't know if it's relevant to anyone in particular or not. Remember, we had this concern about business contracts. I think the reason why you are being urged to work with people that you don't trust anyway is because you're going to be having a lot of trust issues. And trying to work with people that you don't trust is very difficult. So you might end up doing better if you're not working with people you trust, but rather with people you don't trust. All right. So thank you, 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 thank you so much for your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is going to conclude the Earth sign tarot readings for this week. And so now I'm going to go over to the member side of the channel and do the crystal scrying. And I will see you again very, very soon.